Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I would like to say a special thank you to all of those who joined my channel recently, and it looks like it's all due to my cathedral windows quilt. It happened quite unexpectedly. I had it displayed in the Festival of Quilts competition this year, and it was really popular with all the visitors. I I spent most of the time standing by my quilt and chatting to people instead of browsing all the stalls and other quilts. Before I continue, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. If you had a chance to look through my videos, you probably noticed that I do lots of different things. I like my patchwork, obviously. I like my music. I like my cats. I like making chainmail jewelry, and I have a few tutorials. I plan to make several videos talking about my competition quilts. This one behind me is my first ever quilt that I made for competition. Please shout out if you saw this quilt before at the Festival of Quilts. It was actually hanging twice, once in the novice category when it got second prize, and next year after that it was hanging in a retrospective gallery as a obviously second prize winner. I think they had some kind of anniversary for the Festival of Quilts, and they chose my quilts to be there. There was lots of lovely quilts, and my quilt was hanging right next to Vendulka's winner Best in the Show, so I felt really privileged, as you might imagine. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do click that button. Alright, I will try to talk about this quilt today. If I remember, it was 4 years ago, but I'll do my best. It's made out of single block, which is about like that, yeah? That's one block. It's like a variation of log cabin, with the shards, like extra triangles. It is done with paper piecing method. I have a scrapbook where I put all my information about all my quilts. I'll make a special video about the scrapbook separately, but when I was getting ready to do this quilt, I made a block just to try how it's gonna turn up, and it turned out just fine. So I just printed more, 64 of them to be precise, and started piecing them. I think it was taking me about an hour to piece each block, to sew it to the paper. And once I did, I definitely didn't want to make a plain symmetrical layout. So what I did, I took a picture of one block, multiplied it 64 times and put it into Excel spreadsheet. Yeah, you wouldn't think that Excel spreadsheet can be used for designing quilts. And I was twisting and turning each individual blocks until I came up with this kind of a symmetrical design. Well, it's not asymmetrical, it's asymmetrical if you look straight onto it, but it's symmetrical by diagonal. I actually made a video how to quilt king size quilt on a domestic machine, so you can check that if you're interested. So yeah, it is a king size, and it is absolutely possible to quilt it on a domestic machine even with a 7-inch throat, so you don't need a huge machine for that. The main thing is to make sure that your quilt is all kind of evenly supported and not hanging anywhere and not dragging. I quilted it with 3 different threads, using 3 different threads. The lines on the, like these pink zigzags, I quilted with pink thread. The darker parts are quilted with kind of burgundy colour, and these colourful parts I quilted with variegated thread. But before I quilted it, I had to figure out how to do the borders, because it just 84 pieces were just not enough. I had to make it a little bit bigger. For the border, it took me a while to think what to do. I decided to make a really thin pink border, the same color as these triangles. Same color. Then I used leftovers and just pieced as little squares there. Here I have about, probably that big pieces. It's just a scrappy border, really. And towards the end, I auditioned several multicolored batiks and decided to go with this red and brown one. The binding, it's all scraps from remaining batiks that I had. I loved in particularly the 4 stars that I have up the corners. I made them from separate jelly roll, and it all kind of looked scrappy as well. The back of it looks quite nice as well, as if I deliberately did it, but honestly I wasn't. I was just matching the thread on the top and the bottom. So we have nice star with pointy feathers, and then we have like those rivers, and I have variegated thread here. I don't know if you can see it on camera, and then just burgundy in a bigger parts. The edges, the border, I quilted with Baptist fan using rulers. Yeah, it's all done using rulers, apart from meandering. I hope you found this video useful. Oh, I nearly forgot to mention that this block I got from the design logs from George Siciliano, or Siciliano. I'm not sure, I think I'm pronouncing on Italian style. George Siciliano, and you can check him out. Let me know if you have any questions. I would appreciate if you say something, say hi. I spent some time with people at the Festival of Quilts talking about this quilt, and they really liked it as well. Some were saying, oh, it should be #1, but #1 wasn't Tari Foster. Hi, Tari, if you're watching. The next video will be about my Bargello quilt that took 3rd prize in novice category at the Festival of Quilts 2023. I hope to see you soon. Bye.